Universal Studios Hollywood was the first ever Universal park. It is located in Southern California, right next to the Universal Studios backlot. It is famous because it has the Universal Studios Studio Tour, which is very cool. I'm going to talk a lot about that later. But this park is very cool. I had the chance to visit it once. It was during October. I got to hang around the park at the day and then go to Halloween Horror Nights at night. I'm not going to be talking about Horror Nights in this review. I'm really just going to stick to the park itself. But overall, I had a great experience here. This park is awesome. It's so unique. It's just very different. And if you've been here, then you know what I'm talking about. So let me just kind of go in depth with some of these things. If you don't know anything about this park, first things first, the park is located at the top of a mountain. So when you're driving up to it, you go up this steep hill. Like a lot of people I know will take a tram up to the top. And so because of this terrain, the park is separated by two lots. You have the upper lot and the lower lot. The upper lot, naturally, is going to be at the top of the mountain, and the lower lot is going to be at the bottom. To get there, you have to go down probably 5 escalators. So it almost kind of feels like two parks, if it makes sense. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if some people didn't know about the lower lot, and so they're hanging out the upper lot, and they miss out on several rides because they didn't know they exist. Like, when you're at the upper lot, you can't exactly just look down and see the other rides. You have to go down several escalators. You pass over some great overlooks, some amazing views of Burbank, California. Like, it's just a beautiful location. Everything is picturesque. But it is kind of a pain going from the upper lot to the lower lot, especially if you're in a rush. Because the escalators are only going so fast. You can take the stairs, but I mean, it's a lot of stairs, so I would probably recommend just taking the escalator. And as a result, the escalators can get kind of congested, but it's my understanding that they're actually looking at expanding that at some point, which I'm sure will be much appreciated. But I think what I liked about this park was I had been to the other two Universal parks in Florida before, so this was the third one I had been to, and I thought it took the best of both worlds from the Florida parks. It has something from both of them, and it was really neat. Like, I just really enjoyed being here. They have a great variety of attractions, including but not limited to Wizarding World of Harry Potter, Revenge of the Mummy, Transformers, Jurassic Park, soon to become Jurassic World, Despicable Me, Minion Mayhem, and a couple others. So for the most part, everything is kind of screen-based. They do have two roller coasters. You have Flight of the Hippogriff in Wizarding World of Harry Potter, and then Revenge of the Mummy is an indoor roller coaster, and it is different from the Orlando one, so be sure to ride it. But in general, a lot of the rides are going to be very similar to ones that you may have done before. So when I was riding them, I was like, oh, I've pretty much already experienced this. But that didn't mean that I didn't want to ride it. Of course I wanted to ride it. These are great rides. Like Jurassic Park, it's going to be very similar to the one in Florida. Little different. Wizarding World of Harry Potter is like an exact replica of the one at Islands of Adventure. The only difference is that there is no Dragon Challenge or like a ride where that used to be. But it's funny, there is a wall where you can tell, like if you've been to the Florida one, you know that that's where the entrance to Dragon Challenge would be. I really enjoyed just being there for the one day. I did a couple of these rides more than once. And when I wasn't doing rides, I was seeing shows. The shows at this park are top notch. It's because they have access to all of the Hollywood props, and they have the best of the best people to do this kind of thing. They have the most current and updated technology, so everything was so good. I saw a couple of shows here, loved all of them. Probably the best show I have ever seen was Waterworld. This was incredible. I know it's been around at the park for a while, but this is my first time seeing it. It is just outstanding. The set is amazing. The actors are so good. Like, they've all been like stunt doubles in movies and things like that. So the action was great. Special effects were amazing. And then I also saw another show where they were really kind of showing behind the scenes how they do stuff in Hollywood. So they were talking about special props, staging fight scenes, how to make them realistic, and then also like motion tracking, putting people in suits for like animation purposes. And if you haven't been able to tell, I'm a movie guy, so I love that kind of stuff. Like the behind the scenes, see the inner workings of everything. That is great. So I really appreciated that. But also I know the public will be able to enjoy it as well. So I've been kind of saying all the good things about it. There are a few downsides to this park that I wasn't crazy about. I know they have a Walking Dead attraction. It's like a hunt walkthrough. That didn't really do anything for me. I thought it was like kind of mediocre. Also, this is kind of expected. The food and just prices in general are just really expensive here. and so are like the ticket prices to get in. The park food I actually thought was like way too expensive, so I actually left and I went and ate in City Walk. City Walk is right outside of the park, and this place is great. I think City Walk is awesome. They have tons of food options, entertainment stuff, and it's still going to be expensive in there, but I think it's a little better. I think it's a little cheaper. I mean, I don't know, maybe it's not, but they have a lot more variety, which is something that I like. So maybe there aren't a ton of food options in the park, but you have City Walk there, so that's where you can go at lunchtime and whatnot. And you can go there after your visit to get dessert. Like I got Voodoo Donuts. That place is amazing. So the final thing I really just want to touch on is the studio tour. This is probably the reason why a lot of people visit this park. I know for some people it doesn't really do much, maybe because they aren't really big into movies or anything, but like I mentioned, I'm a movie guy. This was awesome. See the sets, see the props, see how they do everything, and it's got 2 rides in it. You have Kong 360 and then a Fast and Furious ride. It's built into the experience. And I know when they want to bring this to Orlando, they essentially kind of duplicated that, but made it like its own thing. So really neat stuff. You just see sets from all over. The most impressive one to me was the War of the Worlds set. That thing is just a masterpiece. It is so freaking cool. And what was neat, I know I said I wouldn't talk about Halloween Horror Nights, but there was a point where we actually got to go and walk among the set as part of one of the haunt attractions, and that was awesome. So cool. Do not go to Universal Hollywood without doing the studio tour. So that's just kind of going to wrap up my review of Universal Hollywood. I definitely think it is worth a visit. I really enjoyed this park. I liked it a lot more than I thought I would. Like, I would take this park over Disneyland personally. I know that might be a controversial opinion, but hey, it's just the kind of person that I am and what I enjoy. This park has more of an appeal to me over the attractions at Disneyland. I would call this an underrated park. To me, it just doesn't seem like it's talked enough about. I don't hear about this place as much as I do the Orlando one, but to me, this park does some things better than the Orlando one. I thought the whole Despicable Me area is done way better here than Orlando. They built all of Gru's neighborhood, and Super Silly Funland is so cool. Like, sure, it's kind of small and would be really cool if it were bigger, but also this park is really landlocked, so they really gotta get creative when they put stuff here. They gotta pick and choose what they're doing. But I mentioned this earlier towards the beginning of the video. I think this has some of the best elements of the 2 Orlando parks and combines them into one. So if you like Universal Orlando, I would definitely recommend Universal Hollywood. But that's just my thoughts on Universal Studios Hollywood in Southern California. Let me know if you've been here, if you agree with my thoughts, if you disagree with anything I've said. If you think I missed something, you can let me know down in the comment section below. And of course, stay tuned for more reviews here at Coaster Studios.